One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The Anxiety Guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine, a leading authority in generalized anxiety. Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the Anxiety Guy.
Warriors, welcome. This is episode 269. You're listening to the Anxiety Guy podcast. I'm Dennis Simsek. Thanks for joining me. This podcast episode is brought to you by my newest menu item called Members that you can find at theanxietyguy.com. Become a member and get your monthly ticket to a particular and targeted masterclass. A masterclass connected to anxiety recovery and inner healing that will take place once per month. Learn more at theanxietyguy.com under Members. Join us. And Warriors, I decided I wanted to do this podcast episode because when changes occur on the inside during anxiety recovery, it can be quite confusing. It can be quite uncomfortable. And we must understand with these changes and this discomfort that arises within us, we must understand that we can respect those changes. We can come forth towards them with respect and understanding. Therefore, we don't have to fear change. Rather, we can embrace the change. So I want to go through a couple of these changes that you may be experiencing in your life to show you that, hey, you're headed in the right direction. The first rebirth comes down to the meaning of life and personal purpose for life that is no longer chased. Rather, it's understood and allowed to come at its own pace and time. During my anxiety days, I would constantly think about the meaning of life and the meaning of my suffering. And I was constantly chasing my purpose in terms of what I can do to give back to people and this planet, and whether I was wasting my time and such. So what I felt like was that I was always chasing the meaning of life and chasing my true personal purpose. When you're on the healing path, you no longer feel like you have to chase. What tends to happen is that you allow the knowledge, the wisdom, the right people, all of that to come into your life over time. So there's a sense of being patient. There's a sense of slowing down. There's a sense of being reconnected to an energy, an intelligence that just says, hey, let me take over a little bit. Give it some time and have a little faith. You don't have to do everything on your own, especially when it comes to understanding the meaning of life and your personal purpose in this lifetime. So that is a very, very important point to understand. It's kind of a feeling of letting go towards something much greater. Also, what tends to happen is that the ordinary begins looking extraordinary. There are perceptual shifts that tend to occur as the person feels like they're on the healing path. All of a sudden, what used to look so ordinary becomes extraordinary. You find that when your children ask you to come play with them or do something with them, it's not so boring anymore. You don't feel a sense of blandness, but there's an excitement there. There's a feeling of fun and something that you're going to get out of it, a new experience. And what tends to happen is you love that present moment. You're connected to it. And so we must understand that with this rebirth and this anxiety recovery, you're starting to feel like what used to look ordinary is now looking extraordinary. So what tends to happen is that you're no longer searching for things that will make you feel excitable, right? Nothing on the outside to fulfill yourself on the inside. You're already fulfilled by the things that you used to deem as being ordinary. I love this. I love this shift that I tend to see so often with people healing. What else tends to happen? Well, neutrality, that feeling of neutralness in an emotional sense, is respected and not feared. It used to be feared because of the boring or uneventful label we and society used to place on it, but no more. Now all of a sudden, when we feel neutral, and when there is just minimal things going on around us, we tend to feel a deep sense of peace and a sense of rejuvenation. We used to look for things that would stimulate us. We used to look for things that would create a sense of excitement within us. But now when we have a feeling or an emotion that is more so geared towards neutrality, a sense of balance and a sense of middle ground, we're okay there. We respect that feeling. We no longer fear it and no longer chase stimulation. This is a beautiful place to be, because what tends to happen with this place is that whether you're walking or driving or talking or sitting, you always feel like you're sort of in meditation anyway. So you no longer have to just sit there and meditate. I mean, you can. I do each and every day. But you've got this sense of such inner trust and balance within you. So again, we're starting to respect that neutral middle ground. What else starts to happen? Well, with these changes and anxiety recovery and a rebirth, the desire to be accepted by others is replaced with a desire to connect with individuals with a certain amount of depth to them. It's almost like we want to help people that don't have that inner depth. We want to help them. But at the same time, we don't want to waste all our time and energy helping someone that doesn't want to be helped. Rather, what we're feeling like is we want to connect with people that are on the same healing path as us. And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so I encourage you to become more curious about this and to, in fact, meditate on the idea of bringing these types of people into your life as friends, acquaintances, family members, you name it. Because what's happening right now is that through an energetic shift that's happening within you, you're inspiring other people to look within and change aspects of them that they're not pleased with either. So there's a beautiful thing going around here. Finally, the fear of failing during creative acts is replaced with a necessity to fulfill our creative desires. It's so beautiful to be in this place. Regret begins overtaking fear and the fear of failing. You start thinking to yourself, if I don't do this now, when am I going to do it? So you go and do it. You don't worry about the mistakes, right? You want to take up painting, go paint. Because 20 years from now, if you don't take up painting today, right, and you take it up 20 years from now, then you will have lost a tremendous amount of progress that you could have made. So what tends to happen is when we tap into this creative side of us that wants to come out and play and be a part of our lives, we begin respecting it and we don't look at all the mistakes that can be made, but rather we're looking at everything that we can gain from these creative acts. And again, it's a beautiful thing. Warriors, right now what's happening is you are a part of a rebirth, moving away from belief systems of others and society and moving towards your own belief systems, behaviors, words, and such. I want you to be proud of this journey. I want you to become more curious over this journey, and I want you to create a deep sense of self-love for yourself for taking on this journey. Because remember that you are more than anxiety. If you know someone that can benefit from this podcast, please share it with them. And if you have any other questions on the newest members page, head over to theanxietyguy.com and join us in our monthly master classes. Love you all. Enjoy this day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.